The Su-34 strike fighter, Russia's ultimate weapon to destroy ISIS? Russia has deployed at least 4 advanced Sukhoi Su-34 fullback strike aircraft to Syria as it works to shore up the besieged regime of Bashar al-Assad and to combat ISIS terrorists. Pentagon officials have confirmed the deployment according to reports. The Fullback, which is a dedicated strike derivative of the Su-27 series, is the most advanced ground attack aircraft Russia has committed to its nascent Middle Eastern campaign. In addition to short-range R-73 high-off-boresight dogfighting missiles, the Su-34 carries the long-range radar-guided R-77 air-to-air missile. That means, like its nearest Western equivalent, the Boeing F-15E Strike Eagle, the Fullback able to conduct self-escorted strike missions. It also has an unorthodox rearward-facing radar to warn the crew about a threat approaching from behind. While the Su-34 is capable of air-to-air combat in an emergency, the Fullback is a strike aircraft. The aircraft has a roughly 700-mile combat radius on internal fuel but is provisioned for aerial refueling with a probe and drogue system. Because the jet is expected to remain aloft for hours at a time, the Russians have uncharacteristically provided for crew comfort. The cabin has overhead space behind the ejection seats, which allows the pilots to stand up and even move around to an extent. The core of the Fullback's sensor suite is the Leninets B004 passive electronically scanned array radar. The system uses the same basic phased array radar technology found on other flanker variants, but is optimized for air-to-ground operations. It's not clear what kind of capability the system offers, but it is thought be able to engage air-to-air targets at over 75 miles and air-to-surface targets at more than 60 miles. Like its Western counterparts, it is reasonable to assume it provides synthetic aperture radar mapping and ground-moving target indication capability, but it's not entirely clear that it does. The Su-34 is also equipped with an electro-optical fire control system and was thought to be equipped with a Geophysica forward-looking infrared targeting pod. However, targeting pods are a weak point for Russia's defense industry. Indeed, Russia has considered license-producing French Damocles targeting pods because its own systems are not very good, but it is unclear if it ultimately procured them. Most clients like India have bought alternative targeting pods like the Israeli-made Lightning. The lack of a decent targeting pod could pose a serious problem for Russia in the fight against ISIS. The Fullback, which is powered by a pair of 27,500-pound Saturn AL-31F turbofans and can carry about 17,600 pounds of ordnance on 12 hardpoints. The jet carries a range of standoff air-to-ground missiles including KH-59M, KH-31A, KH-31P, KH-29T, KH-29L, and the S-25LD, which are designed to hit a variety of ground and maritime targets. It also carries a host of rockets, guided and unguided bombs, laser, electro-optical and satellite, including RBK-500 and SPBED cluster bombs, which should be particularly effective against ISIS. However, how many precision-guided weapons Russia has in its stocks is an open question. For Russia, the opportunity to deploy the Su-34, Su-30SM and other jets provides the country a chance to test its latest weapons in an operational combat setting, where it can gain real operational lessons learned. Not only will the latest Russian jets see actual combat so that the Russian military can learn which weapons work and what needs fixing, Russian forces will also understand what they need in terms of spare parts and logistics in an expeditionary setting. Peacetime training and deployments can only teach you so much. This gives the Russian military a chance to test itself against a real foe during a real overseas deployment, which helps it catch up with US and allied forces that have seen more than a decade of constant combat and address any training gaps.